Hi children, welcome back to Sai SS Academy. Today again we are continuing with our first chapter Geography 10th class Resources and Development. Okay, so first class I gave you video and the next part today I am going to explain. Okay, so today I am going to teach you the types of resources. Already we learned about the resources and today we are going to learn about the types of resources. Resources are of many. Many resources are there. Okay. So they are classified. Resources are of many. So the resources are classified. Okay. So on the basis of origin. The resources are divided into two. They are biotic and abiotic. Okay. Second, on the basis of accessibility. The resources are divided into renewable resources and non-renewable resources. Third, on the basis of ownership. Resources are divided into three: individual, community, national and international. Okay, once more, on the basis of the ownership, resources are divided into three: individual resources, community, national and international. Okay. Four, on the basis of status and development. The resources are divided into potential, developed, stock and reserves. Okay children. So the reserves are classified into these. So today I am going to explain this. So come to the point. Basis of origin. Okay. Basis of origin. It is divided into two: biotic and abiotic. Biotic means anything that has life or anything that find on biosphere. That means whatever things that we are finding on the biosphere, all the living things are coming under the biosphere. So they are biotic. Example, human beings. Okay, human beings I am giving you the example as the biotic. More examples I am giving as the postman, policeman, teacher. I am giving three more examples: postman, policeman and teacher. These all individuals are serving the society. I am a teacher, I am serving the society. And the postman, he is serving the society by giving letters and the postal things. And the policeman, he is serving the people by law and order. Okay, so these type of peoples, not I am saying about only three, but many of them are there. These type of peoples, individuals are serving the society. So here, human beings having skills are human resources. Got it? That means human beings that have skills, they are coming under the human resources. Okay, next I am going to say you about the flora and fauna. You already learned about this, no? Flora and fauna. Yes, flora. What's flora? Flora means vegetation. All the vegetation comes under the flora. And what do you mean by the fauna? Fauna means species of animals. Okay, this flora and fauna all comes under the biotic resources. Next, fisheries and livestock. Fisheries and livestock means rearing of animals or domestic animals. Okay, fisheries and livestock means rearing of animals. So, I think you got the things comes under the biotic. Next, it is abiotic. Abiotic resources are non-living things. Okay, example, I am taking as wood. Wood. Yes, we get wood from the tree. At that time, tree was a natural resource. That means biotic resource. But when I make the firewood or furniture from the tree. Got it? That means when I make a furniture or a firewood from the tree, this furniture or firewood comes under the abiotic resource. That means it comes under the non-living thing at that time. Got it? So the things comes under the non-living things or the abiotic. Got it children? Okay. Next I am going to explain on the basis of accessibility. The resources are divided into renewable and non-renewable. Okay, renewable resource. The resource which can renewed or reproduced by physical, chemical or mechanical process are known as renewable resources. That means these resources will get renewed. How? It will get renewed by physical, chemical and mechanical processes. Okay, for example, solar, wind energy, water, etc. Solar energy, wind energy, water, all these comes under the renewable resources. For producing solar energy, all the process, physical, chemical and mechanical process are involved. That means we are making the solar energy, not directly getting from the sun. Again, the human beings are making the solar. The panels we are using for getting the electricity, no? That's I'm going to explain. Okay. Finally, we are using the process of physical, chemical and mechanical. Finally, we will get solar energy with the help of the solar panels. When we are applying these things on the solar panels, we will get electricity and it is a continuous source of energy. Okay, it is a continuous source of energy. That is, why is it? It is renewable. Similarly, the wind energy is continuously flowing. We can convert that into electricity. Okay, wind energy that we can convert it into electricity. Okay, non-renewable resources. Non-renewable resources. Okay, non-renewable resources. I am giving the example of the iron ore mine and the coal mines. Iron ore mines and coal mines. Okay, we will get iron ore from the iron mines. Iron ore means iron plus impurities. It is not getting in a pure form. We are getting it as an impure form. That means iron ore means iron plus impurities. Once it is extracted from the mines, means again it is produced in the same place. Okay, once it is extracted, again it will produce there. But whatever we are extracting, it is for a one-time use. Got it? So it comes under the category of a non-renewable resource. And it takes millions of years for their formation again in that particular place. After taking, it will not produce within 1 or 2 or 100 years. It will take millions of years for the formation. Got it, children? Okay. Same is the process of the coal mines. So all these things occur over a very long geological time. Got it? I think you understand. Okay, children. Next we are going to study about resources on the basis of ownership. On the basis of ownership, it is divided into 4: individual resources, community owned resources, national resources and international resources. First, I am going to take individual resource. Individual resources are further divided into rural and urban. Before that, what do you know about the individual resource? Individual resources that are owned privately by the individuals are called individual resources. Okay, the things that are privately owned by the individual are called individual resources. Got it? So, again the further classification of the individual resource, rural and urban. Rural individual resource means the person have own house. Okay, a rural individual resource, the person have his own house, his set of trees, his own agricultural land, his cattle. Okay, these all things are the rural individual resources. Urban resource. When we come to the urban resource, means a person own a car, his bungalow, his flat, etc. These things comes under the urban resource. Okay, children. Community owned resources. Okay. Community owned resources. These are resources which are accessible to all the members of the community. I told you about the individual resource. Individual resource means what are the properties of one individual. It comes under the individual resource. There's an individual resource. Next it is community owned resource. Community owned resources means we have no right to tell that it is my own resource. That is a community resource. Example, that resources which are accessible to all members of the communities. Okay, if that parks are there, isn't it, children? Park, garden, temples, churches, mosques. These all things they are not owned by the private people. These are owned by the particular community or by an area. Okay, park, garden, temples, churches. These are owned by the particular community. Okay, in the rural area, pasture lands or a grazing land is a community resource. This I am saying about the community properties. That means it belongs to a particular community. Next, when we are going to the rural areas, we can see the pasture lands. That means the grazing lands are there, isn't it? There we can see the cows, cattle are grazing on some lands. Okay, that means the public parks are there, village well is there, village pond, etc. These type of things comes under the community owned resources. Now you got it now? Community owned resources? Yes, that means it belongs to a community. Okay, children. Yes, next it is a national resource. Okay, what is it? National resource. National resource. Okay, what is national resource? National resources are the resources owned by the nation. Okay, technically all resources belong to the nation. Whatever things we are seeing, all the things technically comes under the national resource. Okay, example, suppose a farmer has a big plot of agriculture land. So I am saying about a farmer and he has a big plot of agriculture land. Then it is his own property. That is, it is his individual property. At that time it was his individual property. Okay, so one day it was found out that there was a gold mine in his property. Okay, one day it was found out that there was a gold mine in his property. Then it becomes a national source. Because gold is not developed by the farmer, and the farmer can't develop this gold. No, yes. So the gold is not developed by the farmer. Anything that is not developed by the human efforts will belong to nation, and it will be a national resource. You got the point? Yes. That means anything that is not developed by human efforts will belong to nation, and it will be a national resource. And other thing is that the country has legal powers to acquire even private property for public good. How is it? Yes, urban development authorities get empowered by the government to acquire land. Urban development authorities are there. They are get empowered by the government to acquire land. Why do they do? This is done for the public good. Okay, why these authorities are doing this? This is done for the public good. All the minerals, water resources, forests, wildlife belong to the nation. Whether if it is the minerals in mines, that water resources like rivers, lakes, they belong to the nation. Even the forests, wildlife, all are a part of the national resource. Then comes the land. Within the political boundary, India has a land of 32,87,263 square kilometer of land within the boundary. This is our national resource. Okay, this is our national resource. When we are standing on a beach and looking into the sea, up to 12 nautical miles, that is 19.2 kilometer from the coast. Okay, now I am saying about the seas and oceans of the country. That means we are standing by the side of the sea. That is on a beach. We are standing on a beach and we are looking into the sea. 12 nautical miles, that is 19.2 kilometer from the coast. Okay, if we are looking to that much area, that means 19.2 kilometer from the coast, termed as the territorial water. And the resource therein belong to the nation. We are saying about the national resource. That means the nautical area, that means 12 nautical area from the seashore, that is 19.2 kilometer. This 19.2 kilometer comes under the territorial water and the resource therein belong to the nation. Got it, children? This territorial area comes under the country's jurisdiction. That means this up to 19.2 kilometer area, that is the territorial water area, this comes under the country's jurisdiction area. Okay, the country has complete power on this. What is jurisdiction means? The country has a complete power on this area. The country has the right for a mineral extraction, fishing, etc. Okay, the country has the power for the mineral extraction from this area, fishing, etc. Then comes the land up to the 200 nautical miles. Then you have a doubt. No, only that 19.2 is there, and what about the other? Yeah, after that 200 nautical miles, these also comes under the nation, but it has some limited rights. Okay, the area farther than 19.2 to 200 nautical area comes under the nation, but it have only some limited rights. Okay, children. Next, I am going to say about the international resource. International resource. There are international institutions which regulate some resources. Example, WHO, SAARC, International Court of Justice, etc. What is SAARC? SAARC, South Asian Association for Regional Cooperation. South Asian Association for a Regional Cooperation. Okay, so WHO, World Health Organization. These all are the international institutions. So these are all the international organizations. Okay, similarly, in the sea, beyond 200 nautical miles of the exclusive economic zone belong to the open ocean. Okay, the sea beyond 200 nautical miles of the exclusive economic zone belong to the open ocean. Means the ocean resources beyond 200 nautical miles. Okay, 200 nautical miles comes under exclusive economic zone and the territorial waters up to 12 nautical miles. Children, do you understand it? That means 200 nautical miles comes under the exclusive economic zone and territorial waters up to 12 nautical miles. Got it? So, beyond 200 nautical miles is an international resource. Got it? Beyond 200 nautical miles is an international resource. So, no individual country can utilize these without the concurrences of the international institution. What is concurrence? Concurrence means agreement. So, without an agreement of the international institutions, country has no right for entering to that area. Got it, children? Now, I think you understood the national resources and international resources. Next, we are going to the status of development. The resources are further divided into potential, developed and stock. On the basis of status of development, the resources are further divided into potential, developed, stock. Okay, so potential resource. Potential resources found in a particular region but have not been utilized. Potential resources means the resources that have found in a particular region but have not been utilized. Example, the Western Ghats of India, particularly Rajasthan and Gujarat, have enormous potential for the development of wind and solar energy, because we know that desert is there, no? Thar desert is there. Yes. So, their enormous energy, that enormous wind energy is there, solar energy is there. But so far, these have not been developed properly. Got it? That's a potential resource found in a particular place. Okay. These wind energy and solar energy can be fully utilized. But we are not that much developed. Got it? We are not that much developed for utilizing these energies. So, such category items comes under potential resource. So, what is potential resource? Yes. Resources which are found in a region but have not been utilized. Okay. For developing a resource, we need two things, technology and money. If any one factor is missing, means we can't develop the resource. Okay, that is the thing happening there. I told you in Rajasthan area, enormous quantity of wind energy and solar energy is there, but we are not that much developed for utilizing it. Maybe the lack of, yes, maybe the lack of technology or the lack of money will be there. Okay, next, developed resource. Developed resource. What is developed resource? Developed resources are the actual resources of the country. Got it? They are the actual resources of the country. Means resources which are surveyed and developed for utilization. They are known as actual resources. Resources which are surveyed and developed for utilization are known as actual resources. I am going to say an example of the solar panels in the Cochin International Airport. There they are producing the electricity from the solar panels. That means it is a developed resource. Okay, next stock. Stock. What is a stock? Materials which have the potential to satisfy human needs, but human beings do not have the appropriate technology to access them. Okay, the potentials are there to satisfy the human needs, but the human beings do not have the appropriate technology to access them. Okay, I am going to say the example, water. Water is made up of hydrogen and oxygen, and both of them are rich source of energy. What? The hydrogen and oxygen are rich source of energy, but we do not have a technology to split them, this hydrogen and oxygen from the water. Okay, in future, if we develop technology to split them, we will have abundance of hydrogen and oxygen. Isn't it? Yes. So, right now, it comes under the category of stock. You got stock. Yes. Next, reserves. Stock and reserves. Next topic is reserve. Reserve. What is a reserve? Reserve are the subset of stock which can be put into use with the help of existing technical know-how, but their use has not been started. Got it? They are a subset of stock and their use with the help of the existing technical know-how, but their use has not been started. That is reserve. We require technology and money for developing a resource here. Okay, what are the things we need? We need the technology and money for developing a resource. Technology is available. Technology is available, but money is not available. So, the development is postponed. Such resources comes under the category of reserves. Okay, reserves. Technology is available, but money is not available. So, the development is postponed. Such resources comes under the category of reserves. The dam is constructed against a flowing water. You know that. You see many types of dams, many dams in many areas. No. The dam is constructed against a flowing river. The dam is supplying water for nearby areas for agriculture, for industries, for everything. Water is using, isn't it? But the reservoir has also ability to generate electricity. But till it has not been done. Okay, hydroelectric power stations are not developed in that area. Why? Because hydroelectric power stations are not developed near the reservoirs. So here, this aspect comes under reserve resource. Okay, in future, we can use so that it is a reserve resource. In future, we can use it. So, it is a reserve resource. Okay, children? Okay, children. So, what are the themes today I explained to you? First, abiotic. Second, abiotic. Renewable. Non-renewable. Individual. Community. National. International. Potential. Develop. Stock. And resource. Okay, we completed these types of resources. Okay, I hope all of you understood it. Okay, so next I am going to tell you about the questions from the part I took today. Okay, first question, what is meant by the term resource? List the types of resources classified on the basis of ownership. We already learned it. Just after hearing my class or by hearing or seeing my video, just go through the lesson. Only some part I took, types of resources, you have to read it. Then you can find the answer of these questions. First questions I read. Second, distinguish between the renewable and the non-renewable resources. Or explain the types of resources on the basis of exhaustivity. 2 questions are coming for one answer. And the third question, explain the classification of resources on the basis of ownership. Okay, children, just go through the textbook and find out the answers. Okay, I hope you understood. If you have any doubt, please comment on me. I am here for helping you. Okay, children, bye, and hope you will share and subscribe my channel. Okay, keep on supporting me, Sai SS Academy.